Well, it definitely looks like the gloves are off, especially between former U.S. President Barack Obama and, of course, current U.S. President Donald J. Trump, as, of course, the current president spent much of his Mother's Day on a very aggressive tweet storm against the former president. And there definitely is a lot of fireworks, to say the least. Some people are calling it wild conspiracy theories, while others are calling it truth. We're going to get into it in this video, as well as looking into all the other crazy stuff happening in the world right now. Man, it definitely has been a very fast-paced, crazy last few months. I want to thank you guys personally for being a part of this journey. It's only going to get crazier from here, so definitely get seated and strap on for the wild ride that is life. Now, jumping right into it, it's important to know that this latest conflict between the two presidents is happening after the exoneration of Michael Flynn, a person that the Democratic establishment and the mainstream media were pinpointing to, quote, Russian collusion, which actually wasn't there. There was Israeli collusion, but no one wanted to talk about that, as, of course, Michael Flynn went down for the horrible crime action of listening to Jared Kushner that told him to contact the Russians so the Russians would vote in favor of an Israeli vote in the United Nations. This happened before Donald Trump was officially inaugurated. He was still president. And because of Michael Flynn reaching out to the Russians, asking them to do a favor for Israel, that's what the FBI went after Michael Flynn for. This is where the majority of this whole Russian collusion nonsense was coming from, which, again, we were calling out very early on from the very beginning, because we actually looked at, okay, what did Michael Flynn do? Where's the actual evidence here? There wasn't any, and now it looks like a lot of it was just contrived for political power. Gee, surprised politicians are doing that. Politicians having no morals, values, virtues, and will do anything just like sociopaths for power? Who would have thought? That's the thing, right? That's a thing, right? Anyway, on the backdrop of all of this, we have Donald Trump tweeting Obamagate. Also, quote, he got caught, Obamagate, retweeting this tweet saying that Barack Obama is the first ex-president to ever speak out against his successor. This is specifically because there was a leaked audio file online right now which allegedly captures the former president Barack Obama during a private phone call with a former White House staffer where Obama criticized the Trump administration for their handling of this entire crisis that the world is in. Also on this phone call, Barack Obama talked about the risk for rule of law in this country because the Michael Flynn case was dropped. He also expressed that the United States is heading in a very dangerous direction because of this. And again, we're seeing just a lot of propaganda here, especially from The Guardian. When talking about the crisis that the world is dealing with right now, he criticized Donald Trump, saying his handling of it was, quote, an absolute chaotic disaster. Again, this is all allegedly from a leaked phone call, which is kind of ironic that this is happening to the spy-in-chief himself, Barack Obama, that has extensively expanded the government's ability to spy on people's private conversations. He also spied on other political allies and opponents. And now Donald Trump is accusing him of not only spying on him, but also alluding that it was Barack Obama that was behind this failed Russian investigation. Now, the spying allegation is most likely true since, of course, Barack Obama expanded the government's ability to spy on everyone. So yes, technically on that one allegation, Donald Trump is true. The other ones, but this is why Donald Trump is calling it, quote, the biggest political crime in American history by far, specifically talking about how Barack Obama's attack is a sabotage of his administration. He retweeted multiple accounts that talked about how this will make Watergate look like a parking ticket, and of course there's many other strong accusations against Barack Obama. The media is calling all of this a crazy, wild conspiracy theory, but according to Michael Flynn's lead attorney, Sidney Powell, She is asserting that Barack Obama participated in the plot to frame Michael Flynn. And again, putting all politics aside, it definitely looks like Michael Flynn was framed, as of course we're getting more and more information about how all these top officials who were saying that there was direct Russian collusion, well, they're now coming out saying that they never saw any direct empirical evidence, including individuals like James Clapper, who were all over the mainstream media saying that Russian collusion was really happening, and anyone who didn't believe in it was, quote, a conspiracy theorist. Again, we got slandered by the mainstream media very viciously. We got attacked very heavily for talking about the actual facts of this case years ago when all of this was unfolding. It turned out, guess what? We were right. Now, the former president definitely had a reason to have a vendetta against Michael Flynn, his former DNI chief that publicly whistleblowed and told the world that the U.S. government knowingly, willfully aided, abetted, and helped the rise of ISIS. Yes, Michael Flynn exposed how the government of Barack Obama was puppeteering, supporting, and helping create ISIS. So was there reason for Obama to retaliate against him for the intelligence agencies that were willingly doing this? Well, yes, there was definitely a reason to be understanding that Michael Flynn definitely ruffled some feathers. And now, according to Sidney Powell, this went straight to the top, but there still isn't a smoking gun proving this. It is still an allegation. And knowing how politics works, I bet it would be very difficult to find any smoking gun. Is this a conspiracy theory like the media claims? Well, we still don't have the smoking gun, but there's a lot of reasons to believe it is, in my opinion. What will be the truth behind this story? How will it develop? Well, we're going to be keeping a close eye on it and keeping you in the loop surrounding all the details that develop. But definitely do not expect to get the truth from, of course, the mainstream media that have absolutely discredited themselves, not only because of Russian collusion, but with their just pure biased, unethical behavior, like we recently saw NBC do with Chuck Todd, as they selectively edited out a tape of the Attorney General discussing the Michael Flynn situation to make it seem like the Attorney General did not make a case for his decision, which he did. Also, if you want to get the Attorney General, why not ask him about his close ties to Epstein, about that case and about that investigation that hasn't gone anywhere? Why, if the mainstream media really wants to hit these politicians, there's some legitimate questions that should be asked here. This is, again, why the mainstream media is, in my opinion, the biggest debilitating factor for humanity. This is why we can't have nice things, and it's because of the mainstream media. And guess what? Now, if you try to be better than they are, if you try to do their job more effectively, if you try to do their job in an honest, real, truthful fashion, well, you're just going to get punished by, of course, the YouTube algorithm and other big social tech media giants that some are accusing of even trying to get rid of the hashtag Obamagate trend, which according to some is being deliberately pushed down in the algorithm on big social media platforms like Twitter. And again, that's all very possible since, of course, these big social tech media giants, multinational corporations, conglomerates tied into, of course, the U.S. government, Pentagon, and intelligence agency. Yeah, you know those guys? Yeah, they manipulate and censor information all the time. So them being accused of doing so is most likely the scenario. So as, of course, they are going buck wild, with them even admitting that they are struggling to remove, quote, conspiracy videos. And again, you see the framing here by CNBC, just more dishonest mainstream media, dribble, bull crap, garbage crap, just regurgitated, thrown up at you and served to you as a 5-course meal. And then guess what? It's not a 5-course meal. It's a big heaping piece of trash and crap with corn in it. And I'm so sick of trying to be fed this crap, this caca, and be told just to take it. And I'm not, because it's not just conspiracy theory videos that are being removed. Sure, some of them are crazy, some of them are out there, but by deleting them, you make them more powerful, more believable for some people, but it's also doctors and other medical professionals that are getting scrubbed left, right, and center for talking about vitamins and your immune system and other basic things that are truth, but yet are being suppressed and censored. But you know what's not being suppressed and censored? The PR for one of the world's richest people in the world that has close to 500,000 shares of Monsanto, which is now Bayer, has a plan to block out the sun, is advocating for microchipping people, hangs out with eugenicists, and calls for population control. Yet that person, that's the expert. That's who you're supposed to hear from. Every word he says, it's the gospel. It's the Holy Bible gospel that YouTube presents to us as truth that we shall not question, or else kaput to you. Maybe even this video is going to be kaput. And I'm sick of it because we're slowly moving towards a total tyrannical, social credit score tyrannical system like the one we're seeing in China, where even scholars, philosophers, thinkers are being disappeared for calling for political reform, even engaging in the horrible act of thought crime, saying, hey, maybe we could do things a little bit differently politically, ends up with you getting disappeared in China. And this is where we are going here in the United States if we don't act up and start moving in the right direction, because we're definitely not doing that now. Jeez Louise, why is it so hard to understand? So many idiots out there, so many people arguing with each other, splintering, fighting over pointless stuff, and this is only working for the benefit of the very few that at this time are robbing us blind. Meanwhile, we just squabble with each other. Now, yeah, again, the truth, again, is always somewhere, usually in the middle. There's a lot of disinformation out there, a lot of propaganda, and it needs to be called out. I was receiving this letter from a lot of people saying, look at this, you won't be able to get your social services unless you get this mandatory testing by the state here in California. That letter was proved to be fake. Again, so much fake news out there right now. And if there is disinformation, it deserves to be called out, because at the end of the day, what matters most is the truth. There's a lot of people, a lot of interest, a lot of money preventing you from knowing that, because once you know the truth, once you're empowered with knowledge and information, you can't be fooled. And if you can't be fooled, you can't be victimized, you can't be profited off of. And this is what we've been preaching from day one, and it goes both ways. Yes, we have that on a major way with the mainstream media and establishment fooling you, profiteering off of human misery. And then we have that on a very small level, but we still have it, and it deserves to be called out by other disingenuous, crap-filled individuals that are walking around telling you that billions of people are going to die, but the only way to help save that and stop that is to like their video or buy their product. Yes, there's a small sliver of individuals like that, and they're pieces of caca. Yeah. Sorry, I got riled up. Just that type of day for me. If you enjoyed this video, share it, because YouTube won't. Because, oh yeah, we dare to go against the religious ideals of Mr. Bill Gates and his, let's just say, partner that looks like she has an upside down cross. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, that's the news for today. If you enjoyed it, seriously, share it. We need your help more than ever. And because you guys do that, I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on We Are Change. Every single day, I will be here for you.